Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I Let me welcome everybody to this session, and actually this is lesson 11, and I appreciate everybody has been following from lesson 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up to 11. And today we have a nice topic that is all about computer software. In lesson 10 we looked at computer hardwares. So without wasting much time, let's proceed to our background. As mentioned, the topic for your computer hardware, software is compared to your mind. Software is a collection of computer programs and related data that provide instructions to computer hardware. It is these instructions which tell the hardware that is need to be print, document, or save file or display pages. So it's all about instructions that command the computer hardware. So the learn outcome should be able that describe the major categories of software and their functions. Let's look at the subtopics. Like we have the softwares, that is system software, and also have this application software. So the first session, that is lesson 11, we're going to look at basically the system software. Then in the other lesson, that is lesson 12, we shall look at the application software. So let's go to it. Softwares, actually, these are set of a computer program that provide instruction to the computer hardware. Or you can even say that these are a set of instructions that tell the computer what to do. So these are your minds, these are the software, these are the instructions, these are the commands that really command the computer hardware. Types of softwares, we have the two, we have the system softwares and we have the application softwares. Then this is the illustrations of the what we call the software can be classified and broken down, shown the following charts. We have the computer softwares here, where we have the system softwares, we have the application softwares. Then when you look at the system softwares here, we have the operating system, utility programs, and the programming languages. These are basically three categories of the system softwares. However, we can add the device drivers, which are also part of the system softwares. We can also add what we call the firmwares and the category of the system softwares. Then still, under operating system, that's where we have most of the major categories. Basically, here uh, we are showing three, like network operating system, that is NOS. We have the standalone operating systems. We have embedded operating systems, but still you cannot leave out the single users, multi users, multitasking. Those are all under operating systems or categories. Then here, when you look at the actually the utility softwares here, where we have the antiviruses, the screensavers, we have the backups here, the screen implementators, file managers, internet filters, sorting, merge, search, firewall, uninstaller, disk cleaners. They are all under utility programs, which assist in operation of the computers. Then we can talk of the programming language here. It is divided into two categories, where we have the low-level languages and high-level languages. Then under low level we have machine and assembly code languages. Then under high level we have the COBOL, Fortran, Pascal, Algol, BASIC, and so many other kind of programming like HTML, Java, Python, and many other kind of programming languages. So this is what we need to know. Then apart from that, we need to have the program translators or the language translators, where we have the interpreters, assemblers, compilers, and even linkers, which are not listed here. So these are help us to translate these machine code into assembly code languages so that we can understand them. Then when it comes to application softwares, here they are basically two. We have the off-shelf softwares and we have the custom-based softwares. Then under of the shelves we have the general purpose and those which serve the special purposes, as we're gonna look at them. So that is the illustration. Then when it comes to the application, the software like word processor, spreadsheet, media players, game solvers, specific needs of the user. We have here the softwares, system softwares, actually which are the first in the computer. That's what they are showing you here. We first install the system softwares and so that they can manage the computer. Then after that we can install the application softwares to do for us the specific tasks. And here you can see the user is using the computer and the memory. So this is the instructions of the computer. We are instructing the computer to do whatever she wants to do. So that is it. Then when it comes to the system software, refer to the set of programs that control the operation of the computer and its devices, such as the CPU, links, and peripheral devices. These are the instructions. Then we have the categories of the system software. They are divided into many three categories. However, here we're going to look at five. One, we have the operating system device drivers. We can talk of the firmwares. We can also talk of the utility programs. Then let's the programming what languages. All these ones apply when it comes to the categories of the system softwares. Then we have the operating systems as one of the major categories, where they are programs that manage the computer resources, or you can say manage the coordinates all activity taking place within the computer system. And remember, this is part software which is based on a computer. One of the examples, we can ask the examples of the operating systems. We have this operating system, Unix, Linux. We have the Windows operating system like Windows 95, 98, Vista, XP, 7, 8, 9, 10, Ubuntu. We can have talk of even Windows 11, which is updated right now. Then after that, this is actually the Windows start screen display, or what you can call the interface. Those who are using Windows 8, this is this interface. Then we have Windows interface for Windows 10, we have Windows interface for Windows 11, Vista, and others. Then types of operating system, we can talk of the single user. This is actually allows user to log in at one time, one user. And this example we have DOS and Windows 8 operation at a time. You can now start creating a document and open graphic top with the school badge at the same time. This was on allowing one user, one operation at a time. Then multi-user alternatives will go into the system at a go. And actually here example you have Unix and Linux. It allows you to access the same data at the same time. It's really networking also, because multitasking, multi-user multitasking allow computer to do more than one job at the same time. One can type a document as printing the data at the same time. We have standalone operating systems. A standalone operating system is a complete operating system that works on a PC. Examples of popular standalone operating systems include we have the Mac, or what we call Macintosh operating system. We have Unix, Linux, Microsoft operating system. We have Windows, that is XP, Windows Vista, Windows 7, 8, 10, 11, and so many others. Macintosh operating system was released in 1884 with Apple's Macintosh computers. I hope you ever seen that. Mac also include features such as GUI, that's graphical user interface. They are also there. Then with the Unix, also operating system developed in the early 1970s by scientists at Bell Laboratories. You can don't forget that some versions of Unix have command line interface and others have graphical user interface, as we're gonna look at them. Linux is one of the fast growing operating systems, and some versions of command line also, and others have UI. So that is Linux and Unix. When we are also talking about the Microsoft operating system, that was in the early 1980s, Bill Gates' Microsoft Corporation introduced DOS as the first its operating system for IBM computers or PCs. DOS originally used a command line interface, as you can look at it. Later versions of DOS include both command line and even user interfaces, that is MDI. These DOS rarely used because it doesn't offer a graphical user interface and cannot take full advantage of modern computer processors. And this is actually the sample of the interface of what we call MS, this operating system. And here we can also talk of the Microsoft Windows, which were introduced to Windows 1, as we're going to look at it, because this is the interface of Windows 1, how it does look like as you can see. Those who have never seen, this is Windows Vista, those who are wondering how it was looking like. Then here you can talk of networked operating systems that actually supports and typically on the server. This is basically for networking computers, as you can see. We have embedded operating system that is either on ROM chips and typically on 100 computers or devices. Then we can also talk of popular embedded operating system today, which includes embedded CE. We have Windows Mobile, we have Palm operating system, Linux and Symbian operating systems. And these are the Windows Mobile, which are actually put on the computers or phones. We have the Optinex or Linux based. We have this one, which have the Symbian OS. These are all kind of operating system, but they are embedded and they are always on phones. So these factors considered when choosing operating system, you can consider the following factors One of them, the type of the computer, term those sites and make operating system available for all sizes of computers. We can talk of the hardware configuration of the computer, such as the memory capacity, processor chips, and hard disk capacity should meet the requirement for other operating system to run well. Then you can also talk of the application software to be installed on the computer should be supported by the operating system. For example, MS 2010 cannot be installed on Windows 2000 because that is impossible. At least with the 2010 can be installed on Windows that is 7 or even Windows 10. That's where it can be applied. Then when it comes to operating system should be user friendly so that depends on the skills of the internal users on the computers. Then you can talk of the quality should have adequate information to get for users references. Then we have the cost of the operating system matters, how much you can afford to get your safe operating system, whether it is Windows 7 or Windows 11, it depends on the amount you have. Reliability and security provided by the operating system where you can have a sign in or login for user password and a username into your operating system. The number of users that a hardware device can support, that's what matters a lot. The number of users that can support very basic utilities. They have the functions like hardware management. You can also talk of the software management. Those are all functions of the operating system. Data management. We have the memory space, which is provided by the operating system. You can talk of the coordination of the flow data between the various application programs and users. You can talk of booting of a computer, that is switching it off and on. That's plus also restarting. That's raw booting and cold booting. You can also talk of the utility like debuggers, defragmenters, which maintains of tasks and disks. You can also talk of the multitasking, which is already there. You can talk of the ensures automatic update of time and date on the computer. It coordinates our activities in various parts of the world. It has what we call last users and port errors. That's all. Also, you can also talk of manage resources such as the CPU and memory switch. We can also talk of the interface of the desktop. How your desktop looks like it depends on the operating system which is installed in the computer. It controls system security by limiting the use of passwords. That one also matters a lot. We have monitoring performance. That is also important. Establish internet connection. It depends on the Windows which is stored on your computers. It will have more programming. That is also whereby many programs can be installed at the same time on a computer. So that also matters. And coordinating while operating system coordinating the tasks, we have what we call a buffer. A buffer is only a memory of storage in which data and information is placed while waiting to be transferred to or from an input or output device. Simply, a buffer can be a temporary memory which can store data temporarily during the process. So operating system typically uses technical spooling to increase computer system efficiency. We're going to look at spooling also means for the process of putting tasks that need to be done in the buffer until they can be executed. That's what we call spooling. The spooling always happens in what we call a print spooler. That's during printing or document. That's when spooling is majorly used. So a print spooler intercepts document to be printed from the operating system, place them in a queue in the buffer. So we're going to look at how a spooling operates. Spooling increases both processor and print efficiency by pressing print jobs to the buffer and the disk before they printed. As you can see here, this is the server. Jobs will be done, sent to the what we call a spooler. You see it's spooling the tasks. Then here, the printer does the work. I know those were print. You can always see this. You can always send many commands at the same time, but the printer is going to keep some of the jobs or the printing jobs in what we call a spooler or in a buffer. So those kind of information will be printed in a time T. Then we can talk of configurations. This is also a task which is done by the operating system, whereby you add a new device to your computer such as printer, and this device must be installed before the device be operation. So you have to first always configure some of the devices before are they are compatible with your device. Then you have encryption, the process of recording data and information to an readable form. When authorized users attempt to read data, it is decrypted or converted back in readable form. For devices that are not plug and play, Windows operating provides the wizard to guide users through the installation steps. If you have internet connection, the wizard is search online for the drivers. So these are all kind of configuration. So those were some of the functions of the operating system. As you can see, it has to start the computer's booting, it has to provide user interface, it has to manage programs, memory, establishing connection, provide for management utilities, control network, administer security, monitor performance, and coordinate tasks. These are some of them, and that is overview of the operating systems. Then we have the device drivers as one of the another category of the system softwares, of which we have talked. This is what helps to communicate the hardware devices. So the operating system relies on device drivers to assist in device operations. A device driver is a program that accepts instructions and converts them into command that device can understand. Each device on a computer, such as the keyboard, mouse, monitor, printer, card reader, writers, scanners, has its own device drivers. Then the firmware it can understand its permanently written data instructions or programs written to a ROM chip within a device by its manufacturers. So this means this is always installed from the time of manufacturing a device, and it is actually written onto what we call a RAM read-only memory device. Then we have utility programs. This one is actually the first system software designed to analyze, optimize, enhance, and maintain a computer in good working conditions. For example, here we have the, some example like antivirus, screensavers, file compression, backup, disk checkout, disk cleaners, disk formaters, file managers, sort manage, person firewall, uninstall diagnostic utilities, and so many others. Those are all what we call utility programs. We, these are antivirus, of course, it helps to scan for viruses and all of them. Savers, backup utilities where you can make copies or what you call replication of copies. You have the what we call a cryptographic uh, utility program that actually encrypts and decrypts files. Disk checkers, disk cleaners, these are all clean the disks. This defragmenters, such utilities which help to look for the program you want faster. Disk partitioning, where you can shrink some of the actual drives. We have file managers, we have utilities, we have file compression utilities, person firewalls which can protect the computer from the third world, and we have installers, we have the diagnostic utility and the sort utility. So these are all some of the utility programs. Then we can also talk of the programming languages, which is one of the last categories of the system softwares. We have the notation for writing computer softwares. Programming languages are coding instructions which are used in designing computer programs. So when I capture a complex execute program written in language such as basic Java, the computer must convert this human language into instruction form it can understand. So there are two categories of the programming languages. We have low-level languages and we have the high-level languages. When it comes to low levels, they are actually computer. These are languages the computer can understand. They are machine dependent and very difficult for programmer to understand. Examples: we have machine and assembly languages. With machine, actually, these are written binary code that is ones, and assembly languages. Actually, these are usually just present groups of words like at. Then we have the high-level languages, which a programmer can easily understand and cannot immediately understand these languages. High level language referred to as the third language computers or generation languages. We have basic, that is beginner purpose symbol extension code. We can talk of the COBOL, common business security languages. We can also talk of the Fortran, that's formula translation. We can also talk of algorithmic languages. We can talk of the Pascals. We can also talk of the C languages. We have others like C++, HTML, CSS, CSS, Java, HTML, and so many others. So those are some of the programming languages. Then we have language translators. Actually, this one they translate high-level languages into lowest level machine languages. The computer can execute. We have them like assembler. This one converts assembly into machine. We have compiler. This one actually translates coded languages high level into low level. We have the interpreters. We have this one can also translate program line by line, and then we have linkers which determine the program will be quoted in the memory. This will determine the location of the program to memory. So that is what I had for you, and that's also all about computer softwares, and it's all about system softwares only. So in the next lecture or lesson, we shall look at computer softwares under application system softwares. Today we have looked at system softwares. In the next session, inshallah, we shall look at application softwares. You can reach me on these contacts and on my email, and that is YouTube channel, that is at James Fraser. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe so that you can have more updates. I wish you well next time, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.